Hello, my name is Michael Herren. I am the son of Al and Cynthia Herren and a proud blue-collar Democrat my entire life. My mother and father had me young. They were idealists. They were Democrats. They were proud Democrats. My father was a social worker. My mother in the union for telephone operators. I take my vote very, very seriously because I was trained at a young age that voting is important. When my father first ran for state representative, he won by 46 votes. He was an outsider. He was an underdog. He was a Democrat, and he was proud. And he worked hard. And I fell in love with politics. As difficult as that may seem for some people today, politicians were not a dirty word when I was growing up. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I don't think he's a decent man. I don't think he's worthy of leading this country, and most importantly, being the most powerful person in the world. However, this isn't about Trump. Sadly, this is about Nancy Pelosi. On this night, on February 4th, she has done irreparable damage to the Democratic Party. And more importantly, the party that she leads. That she's the highest ranking member of. Tonight was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. And I'm not keen on them sitting down and not standing up and not clapping, because you know something? Sadly, disgustingly, both parties do that to one another. They take turns, like children, doing that to one another. But that's not even really the story either. The story is about her body language, her smirks, how she carried herself, how she portrayed herself, and how shameful some of the stuff that she did. She essentially was an hour-long political endorsement for Donald Trump's reelection. Some hardcore Democrats said to me tonight, by the way that she acted, knowing damn well the cameras around her, she was sitting behind that people would be paying attention, single-handedly got Donald Trump reelected the next election. And these are hardcore Democrats telling me that. And I can't really argue with that, because I thought the same thing, horrifically. You got to remember what today was. Today was the fiasco in Iowa with the election and the votes and the caucuses not counted, and a horror show. And then it's the State of the Union, where people are supposed to come together after they're having a terrible day in Iowa with dysfunction and mismanagement and whispers are all over the place. You need to be in damage control tonight, not ripping up State of the Union speeches, not smirking, not being negative. She single-handedly, again, acted like everything Donald Trump said she was. Angry, old, embittered, all of it. She reinforced it, sadly. Tonight, she needed to act like a statesperson, not a bitter, old, angry lady that maybe have stayed around just a little too long. Tonight, of all the nights, was to stay out of the mud and stay above the fray. I am a proud Democrat that has worked for the DNC for 2 congressional campaigns and multiple state conventions. Like I said, I grew up with it. And I tried to fight the good fight every night on social media and in conversations with friends talking about the evils of Donald Trump. But unless she resigns quickly and doesn't become part of the story, then she will single-handedly elect Donald Trump to president, which is the worst thing that can happen to the Democratic Party, the one that she leads. It often ends sadly for politicians that stay around too long and have too much burn from the camera. It happened to Richard Nixon, and tonight, sadly, it looked like it was Nancy Pelosi, who had been around too long, who had been in too many fights, and who carried too much negativity and bad energy with it tonight. True leadership sometimes in politics means biting the bullet and stepping aside. When you become a burden as opposed to an asset, it is time to go. Hopefully history is kind enough to remember your distinguished political career and your trailblazing path you laid for women in politics. Not about what you did and behaved tonight. But make no mistake about it. You need to resign. If you care about the Democratic Party, you need to resign quickly. Or just give the election to Donald Trump in the next 4 years. You decide, Mrs. Speaker.